It's HPR, member-supported Hawaii Public Radio and All Things Considered. I'm Dave Lawrence. We have a very exciting opportunity going on right now in the Honolulu area, and continuing tonight, 2 shows over at the Blue Note, 6:30 and 9. Legendary reggae band Black Uhuru back in the Aloha State. And we are privileged to have original member Derrick Duckie Simpson speaking with us right now. He goes all the way back to the beginning. And great to see you, my man. Thank you for taking some time.
Yes, great to be here. You know, I've been here for over 2 decades.
What's your memory when you think of Hawaii and your last time? What comes to mind?
This is my 3rd trip in Hawaii. You know, I've been here twice. Me and Michael Rose, and me and Dan Carlos. The last time I was here was in 92, 93, something like that. And I haven't been back since. You know, so this is my first trip after 2 decades.
Well, it's very nice to have you back in. And I understand that this comes ahead of what's going to be a really big Black Uhuru tour coming up later this year of the United States.
Oh, yes, September. And we have a new album going to be out in like July. And then we'll go to Europe to do a few gigs. Like we might be playing the Reggae Guild in Belgium. And then in September we'll kick off our West Coast tour. We might do about 3-4 weeks in the US. And we'll be going to Australia and New Zealand also. Maybe by January, you know.
That's a big bunch of dates, too. I had been hearing it's going to be a pretty big U.S. tour. And talk about the record coming out in July, a little bit about where it was recorded, what you're calling it, maybe any of the flavors that we can expect.
Well, it was recorded a couple of places in California, up north in Chico, you know, Jamaica, London. You know, I have this collaboration with Agent Sasko and Ibamar, and the name of the album will be As the World Turn, title track. I'm gonna be about 16 to 18 songs, tracks on the album, you know.
And how long has the writing process been going on? I can dig that it was recorded in a variety of places. In terms of the writing and when you were...
I've been writing a couple of years now, you know. Cause like, you know, something you just spend song, I have them, so... Like for my next album coming up, I've already have all the songs, you know.
So you got the next one in the bag after As the World Turns?
As the World Turns, I'm going to be starting the next project, you know.
I understand there is also something exciting going on. You're looking into some branding opportunities.
Yeah, that's one of my main things now. You know, like to get the name brand out there, you know. Because, you know, in recording, sales has dropped. There's no sales in recording again.
So you got to look at alternatives.
Yes. You know, the internet took away all the sales. So like you'll only like earn like in live performance, you know? And like it's the music has shift now to the younger generation, you know?
And how do you approach, because that's a fascinating way to look at it. So what are some of the plans relating to the branding that you're looking at as new alternative sources of revenue?
Like the brand shoes or marijuana. You know, like there's a lot of marijuana in business going on now, you know. Like
got 8 states and counting.
Strength. You know, you put my name to a couple of strength, you know, like Black Uhuru Kush, right. You know, or Black Uhuru Sour Diesel. You know, I'm talking to some guy who makes shoes. I don't know how that will pan out.
I have an idea for one. Black Uhuru Sensimilia.
Well, we are Black Uhuru Sensimilia. We were the first reggae artist to really sing a fully marijuana song. You know?
But that'd be, I'm saying, a great name for a strain.
Yes, it is. But, you know, it used to be a strain one time, Sensimina, but now everything is more technology and everything is advanced and you have different type of strain now. You know?
Well, that's a very lucrative way of doing things and smart, too, because as you said, things have changed a lot in the record business. And, I mean, it's I've seen it myself because you can't can't go and buy a record. First of all, there's no place to buy them. People aren't buying them. It's happening to young people, old people. The internet, as you pointed out, has just taken away that. Dialing back and thinking about what it's been like for you to continue. I mean, you're a real survivor. And I've heard you, I studied you, did a few different interview sessions where I was listening and watching what you said. I've heard you say as a child you were a professional gambler. You were an early ganja smoker. Take us back to that childhood era and before it. Share how.
A good role model.
Will for
Professional gambler at the age of 15. My gambling name was Duckie. You know, I was real professional. And I smoke now, 54 years now. I started smoking from I was 13. You know?
Where did the music arrive and when?
Well, it's funny, you know, my father used to play a Roomba box. You know a Roomba box? It's like a bass, but you sit down like this and play it. It got 4, not strings, like 4 metal, like maybe half-inch each.
With different note on each.
Yes, it has bass notes, yeah. My father used to play that and sing and all. We'll be there with him and thing. But I'm really a guy who I used to sing with the radio a lot, you know every song plays on the radio and thing. And so from a very early age, cause in my time, you grew up very fast, you know. Cause when I was 15, I was a big man. You know?
I mean physically a big guy?
No, not physically, mentally a big man, yeah. Big also physically, but mentally a big, well grown up, you know. Well, if I was a professional gambler at 15, I mean, you know. Yeah, so.
And what kind of gambling, like the dominoes or what?
Poker. But I was very good at bone dice, 7-Eleven. You know that game?
I've seen
7-Eleven, 6, 5, Parapinto they call it. They call it Parapinto. I think they call it crap in the casino. Yeah. And thing, you know.
You never did the dominoes? I've been to Jamaica and I saw wicked domino games.
Domino. I wasn't really I can play domino average, but I wasn't really a professional domino player. But
that's real serious in Jamaica. A lot of people don't know that. That can be a really heavy-duty game, huh?
Domino?
Yeah.
It is. It's one of the most popular games in Jamaica. You know, these guys, they win world tournament and all that. Yeah.
And they're very competitive. I was in the grill. I'd never seen anything like it.
Domino and cricket, it's like our life story in Jamaica. That's all we used to play. Domino, cricket, football, you know.
You give your dad credit with the Roomba box, am I saying it? Roomba bass.
My dad was musical, but he wasn't professional. So he would gather us on Saturday with his friends and they'll play music all day, you know. That time they'll sing like Mentor or jazz, you know. I know reggae music come out of jazz and stuff like that. Reggae music arrived from American music. Vice versa. Rap arrives from DJ.
Where did your mom have a role in any of this?
No, my mom didn't have any role. My mom died early, you know. My mom died very early. She didn't have a role in this, in my music. She didn't even know I was a singer. She died before that even come around. She died like when I was, like 11 or 12, something like that, yeah.
I'm sorry, brother. That's too early. I just lost mine a couple years ago, but I know the... So your dad obviously played a critical role in both being...
He played a role, but he was musical, so I think that's where I got my musical vibes from. My dad was very musical. Sing, play Roomba box and stuff like that.
How rough was Waterhouse?
Very, 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 very. Waterhouse is still rough. You know, you grow up and if you're soft, you gotta get tough. And you get tough till you start getting serious. Then you start getting wicked. You know? That's the whole growing up. You know?
Is that one of the rougher parts of Kingston, Jamaica?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's a couple rough neighborhoods in Jamaica. Waterhouse is one of them. You know?
When did you start performing? I get that dad introduces it or has a role by introducing it. When do you start discovering you want to sing?
I started living in I come from Jonestown. That's bordering Trenchtown. From a place by the name of Rima. And I moved to Waterhouse when I was about 11. And my mother died when I was about 11. And then I was like taking care of myself, like living on the street, not necessarily on the street, but I do have a mother or father to like
look after you.
Yeah, so I just do what I feel like doing. Anyhow, there was a couple of guys in Waterhouse who was very musical, and we had a couple of dancers also. So we were always into music and thing.
And you were checking out.
Taking music serious when I met Garth Dennis. You know, he came to my neighborhood and to live, and my friend is like, hey, there's a guy living beside my yard, you know. He's from Trenchtown and he knows Bob Marley and shit. And I'm like, really? So I went around there and checked Garth, and I started going to Trenchtown. Garth started taking me to Trenchtown because that's where he's from. And Garth's sister sings with Bob Marley. She's Beverly Kelso. So Garth had a close connection with Bob Marley. So I started going to Trenchtown. And then I started learning the music now. You know, saw the Wailers. And there's a group by the name of Wailing Soul, Pipe. So those are the guys that I learned the music around. Then after that congregation break, Bob Marley got real famous now and everything move up. So where we used to rehearse now, everybody branch off, and I invite Wailing Soul to come to Waterhouse and live. Because we used to go to Trenchtown. So Wailing Soul came and lived in Waterhouse and then bring that musical vibes from Trenchtown to Waterhouse. And that's where all thing broke loose.
Incredible. The name, did you name the band yourself?
The name was given to us by a guy, you know, Uhuru. Oh, yes. By a guy. And one day he was making a tracks and he said to us, like, do you guys have a name? And we were like, not really, still searching. And him said, call yourself Uhuru. So that's where the name came from. And after a couple of years, we had the black to it, Black Uhuru.
It's Swahili.
Yeah, Uhuru is Swahili. It means freedom. Yeah.
And when you think about, you mentioned the radio as a critical, and it was for a lot of people, was for me, and why I listen to music and like it so much today. Was it American stuff? Describe what you were hearing on the radio.
Stuff. Smokey Robinson, OJ's, Temptation, you name it. All those Motown and Bear Garden stuff. All those soul music and stuff like that.
And you mentioned how Bob and the impact of Trenchtown, and you told it really, really well. When you think about Jimmy Cliff, Desmond Decker, Bob Marley, all three of those cats or any of those cats, do you remember them being an influence or an inspiration?
When I know Jimmy Cliff, I had a name. Already. And I don't know Desmond Decker, like, personally. I know who the guy is, but I don't think I've ever met him. But I know, I met Jimmy Cliff, and I know Jimmy, because I used to even rehearse at Jimmy Cliff house, you know, up where he lives. So I know Jimmy Cliff and thing. So like, we were very musical in Waterhouse now, and so the group was started by me, Dan, and Garth. And then they went off after 2 singles, Folk Song and Time Is On Your Side. And me and Michael link up and thing. And then me and Michael take the group to Grammy. Michael left, and me and Junior Reed. And then me and Andrew B's now been going like 20 years now.
You're very good at summing up all kinds of stuff. It's good for radio. I like the way you bridge all these things together for folks. That's very appreciative. You had a remarkable, not everybody can say Keith Richards has been on one of their tunes. If you can explain how this Rolling Stones legend ended up being on.
When we just started. Nothing was even happening for us that time, but Keith Richards was at the studio. I think he came there to check Sly and Robbie, and that was done from Sly and Robbie influence. Sly and Robbie asked him to partake in Shine I Girl, you know. But I did a concert with the Rolling Stone in Wembley, Mick Jagger and thing. I performed with the Police, you know, Mink DeVille. I've performed with a couple of big guys, you know. And I've done, you know, I'm the only, I think I'm the only, might be the only reggae artist to do Rock Palace, you know.
The TV show Rock Palace?
No, not the TV show, and performance, yeah, everything live, yeah. In Germany,
Right.
yeah. We have won the Diamond Awards of Excellence, won the first Grammy, nominated 5 times. Las Vegas, Key to the City, Opiland Award, you know, Martin's International Lifetime Achievement, a couple of them.
Were you there when they did the Grammys? That had to be an exciting one.
If we're at the Grammy?
Yeah, were you at
I was at the I personally was on the rostrum. We were the first Grammy artists to receive the Grammy on the rostrum. And they've been, and after that they didn't give any more person on the rostrum. They just
in the afternoon or whatever.
Yeah, send it backstage or something. But Morgan Heritage got it the other day on the rostrum. They went up. You know? But I'm not into the Grammy stuff, and that's mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, and that it's like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You don't need that.
My son is out there, Abubakar. I gave him a Grammy to play with when he was like about eight months. And he just threw that down the bottom.
What did he do?
He always crying for it. I need that Grammy to mash it up. And when I'm not there, his mother gave him my Grammy to play with. And he just threw it down the balcony after he finished playing with
I remember seeing it.
Yeah, aye.
Yeah, at the house. The horn, you know, the horn comes up, that was broken off.
And
it had tape on it. And the horn was taped back.
Can't quite tape a Grammy together.
And I had like 12 antique cars. And he's like, oh. He cries for them. When I'm not there, his mother gave him my antique cars. He smashed up the 13 of them.
Kids, huh? How old was he at the time?
He's out there now. At the time, he was about a couple months, maybe a year, or like, you know.
As we go to wrap it up with you, you've been very generous with your time, and I'm super appreciative. 2 final questions. As you've gotten older and as things change in your life, certainly for me, when I lost my mom and grandmom a few months apart a few years ago, it really changed the way I looked at life and spirituality, our purpose here. Have your views on spirituality, because you've always been a man of consciousness, you've put some really heavy-duty lyrics together in songs. Have any of those things evolved as you move forward in years?
Well, it doesn't involve because it's not there. I don't really believe in spirituality, you know. I'm a Rasta, you know, and Rasta don't cite spirit, you know. And whatever spirituality is, you know, I'm like a scientist. If I don't see it, I don't believe it. You know, and I've never seen spirituality yet. I don't know what spirituality is. Well, some people say spirituality is when you're like close to God or godly or whatever, but you know, Rasta bun God and them things. So it's not really my ball game.
Like, I understand that, but you've always had songs of consciousness, I guess you would.
Exactly, yeah. You know, Rasta. I sing a lot about Rasta, and we sing about Africa, and like we do a lot of conscious songs.
And justice.
Yeah, and thing. And we'll do a 1 and 2 Rude Boy songs also, you know.
No, you mix it up. You cover your bases.
Yeah.
You cover your bases. As a final note, from the guy who's saying, I've got a stock of Sinsemilla, what's your take on the United States? I mean, could you ever imagine 1 state, 2 state, 3? You can't even keep track of it now.
Take on the United States.
With the legalizing.
What do you really expect? Like, we're talking about marijuana? Yeah, well, I love the United States for that. I was in Los Angeles for like 1 year and 5 months. Just because of the marijuana. I just got home like 6 months ago. Yeah, and I love California, you know, cause like, you know, herb is free and no hassle from the cops. There's a lot of good herbs, and so it's getting okay in Jamaica now. So, you know.
Is it changing there?
Yeah, you can travel it a certain amount. And
can you believe the way these states have done this, though?
Rasta now can be allowed to travel at £10. Wow.
What?
Yeah, you just go and get a survey ticket. And you're like, the cops is like, what's that? It's £10 a herb, I'm a Rasta. Yeah, so it's kind of getting okay down there.
But a lot of changes, huh? Did you ever think something that it would happen in the way that it's happening now?
Well, Peter Touch said it. Yeah, we know it must be free, Peter Touch said it.
You gotta legalize the marijuana.
Big time.
Yeah.
Peter Touch has made, and the day the dollar die. Remember that song he did? Day the dollar die. We saw the American dollar die recently. Went into recession. But whatever happened in America, I'm not really surprised, That's like,
It's a crazy thing, though. It's hard to keep track of each election. It's something new. When your new record comes out, hopefully we'll do a phone or something. We can help promote that and talk about it. Would that be okay?
Yeah, big time, yeah. 'Cause I don't think I'll be in Hawaii.
Well, we'll do it on the phone. Did you have fun tonight? Was this an okay conversation?
Yeah.
Say? You enjoyed this?
Okay, yeah, very much,
Thank you.
Black Uhuru, Duckie, Simpson, a.k.a. The Gang. Big up.